Hello, welcome all. It is Ant-Man 1793 here. Hello, juniors. I will be doing recaps for the season, and I love the energy and the exciting battles that happened for week one. So, without further ado, I present you the first matchup of Kibo versus Cooley Live. I'm pretty sure that is who this majestical GGianG is. So right off the bat, I feel like Zamazenta has a really good uh spot here, depending on the set. Even if Landorus is obviously going to be Intimidate, I think the speed and all of that jazz sets him up right. But we will see how this goes down. So starting off right off the bat with Terapagos with Calm Mind. Now, if you're just using him as a sweeper because you're not afraid of rocks, I mean, I guess. But he is a very valuable sweeper. I mean, spinner. And then the Ice Beam. So Terapagos gets the first one on the board. And then Regieleki comes in and absolutely, that right there, damage. Plus, I don't think he's faster because if he's 548 and 188, 300, yeah, this guy is coming in and saying, I don't give a shit if you don't resist me. If you resist me, I mean. So now we have the Raikou hopefully kind of stopped it, but the critical hit knockoff really was not in Kibo's favor there. That really set him off big if that was if the crit wasn't probably was not supposed to kill. Aerodactyl coming in hopefully can secure the final kills, but Rocky Helmet is definitely not looking good, and the Scald finishes it off. Like I said, depending on this set, Landorus is down, Intimidate's down, so oh, I would have rested up there if you had rest, because yeah, I think that Zamazenta definitely could have been played a little bit differently, because this Regieleki came in and just fucking took shit. Really impressive gameplay, Cooley Live. Melmetal doesn't usually, at least to my memory, doesn't get drafted so often, and I am so glad that someone is using it and made Regieleki a freaking star week one. Like, that was an absolute show. So moving on, it was me versus Giltine, and right before I say this off, I swear Giltine did not play as well as she could have, because Glade, depending on the set, should have just swept me immediately. But without further ado, let us roll through. So I think she probably assumed that I was banded or something like that, but maybe on the EVs she could think more. I completely misread the fact that Vapor Starmie gets Thunderbolt, because uh that was absolutely big. Getting the Ghost Libero was really good, but I know that he was probably scarfed, so I was gonna say yeet and get my HP back up on Vape. Now, if she brought in Gallade here, Gallade, while I was wishing up on these slow ass turns, she definitely could have sweeped. So Delmite could come in, and again, she was assuming that she was gonna kill, but AV Delmise, Comes in clutch. Alright, so the Toxic on Vaporeon is a little annoying, but at the end of it, it didn't become the most biggest issue in the world. I'm going to speed it up just a bit. Now, I am baiting here the Earthquake because I know that I'm going to win the trade with my EV set. And I just considered Nidoking dead after that take. And so now here comes the stalling from Tapu Fini. If you taunted right there, that would have probably been already a good setup. If you were more aggressive with the taunt, because letting me wish up and get my health back was not the play. This swap in was also not the play. Probably should have just kept on Calm Minding, or maybe just switched into Cinderace because it was already so low. Sacking off Chen Pao like that when it was full and I'd never had a plan for rocks was kind of a miss in my head. Okay, so I'm getting up my stuff, and here I should have been a freaking expanding force on that taunt. I kind of got a little screwed here, but the Water Absorb was definitely a help, and now here comes the taunt. At least I did flip turn because I thought I pictured it coming. I could have ability swapped there, but I did Healing Wish to Delmise to heal it up, and then this switch to Gallade was also very questionable, and it just sacked it off, and it basically was a lock-in for me. But again, I really don't feel it was too appropriate because at any slow turns with my Vaporeon, if she brought Gallade in, I was toast. I was toast. I was not going to be able to do much. So thank you, Giltine. It was still a very heated match, and I hope we see each other in playoffs maybe. Up next is the last. Is this like a replay of like finals last season with Gwyndorace and Sitrus Bizzy, because they both made it? I think. So on paper, I'm loving Inteleon and Iron Treads, but Celesteela is kind of shifty, so we will see how Celesteela gets played around. Immediately into the Shed Tail for Celesteela was a great intro to the game, especially that Sitrus Bizzy did not have the aggressive start that he probably should have had in hindsight with the substitute being out. So now Psychic Terrain, he's stealing my gimmick here. I'm going Psychic Terrain, but the Expanding Force was incredible. I will give him that. So now we have the Paralyzed. I did not realize Glare went through ground types like that, but we live and we learn. Excuse me. Probably should have gone weak armor just on the speed, but Expanding Force. Expanding Forces was I'm kind of blown by, yeah, because you have the Terra Psychic on top of that. Sandaconda proving himself to be a valuable wall. Yeah, that was even in. It was not very effective, but still. I think he was having trouble with his calcs because he never brought Beedrill out because he forgot how adaptability worked. but this guy was always scarfed, and we knew that. But now he's scarf locked himself into Temper Flare, which then didn't work himself all the greatness at the end, because the Italion was able to secure the last 2 kills for the Sitrus Bizzy's victory. So now Sitrus has the win, and hopefully he can keep up the pace. But again, honestly, that really just came down to some like prep choices on Gwyndrace's side and Sitrus' side. Because if Gwyndrace, if she didn't, he didn't. I've been saying he this whole time, but I'm pretty sure that she's a girl. So I apologize. That she just made the choice on the scarf Cyclizar, and in that scene it completely locked her and kind of screwed her up on that last couple plays there. So need a little sip here. Up next, Otaviopps versus Ionite. I think this is yes. So Charizard definitely had a nice opening here with either Dragon Dance or this or that. Oh, a special Charizard. I guess I won't knock it just for the fact that he still has some stats behind it, but it was still interesting nonetheless. But he gets completely walled by Comfey. Well, Charizard gets at least. So Glimmora comes in, and if now Electric, there's not much of an answer here. And you're going to give him HP every time. This just looks like Comfey is situating himself into a nice win. The impenetrable Comfey never prevails if you do not have yourself a proper answer, and ends up forfeiting with it before the 2 others give out. This one is honestly like, these are 2 really good coaches. Definitely more on the prep side again. If Ionite just thought out a little bit harder on a very secure Comfey Terra answer, he would have found himself smooth sailing. But alas, Comfey's a beast. Comfey's a tank. I don't know what else to say there. Okay. So a very interesting match, at least for me to say the least, is Entertainment versus Unit 97. The Megalith drafts face off week 1, and they are here to prove who has the better Megalith draft. I don't really think it matters that much if you drafted a Mega or not. It's just funny that the 2 teams that ended up not drafting ended up going face-to-face round week 1. Zapdos is looking hot, but Kyurem Black, honestly, Kyurem Black always looks terrifying if you have the right set, and Entertainment always brings the hot sets. So with that in mind, we're going in. Destiny Bond Gengar. It doesn't get better with Dan. He loves the suicide lead. Well, I feel like he utilizes move pools to the full extent. I won't say he loves suicide leads. So going into the Excadrill to resist Aerodactyl. Terra Aerodactyl does sound scary. And dang, why is this Rock Tomb like not doing as much as it should? I guess it's not stab from Excadrill, but still. Only doing 27, like, you can outpace that. Alright, here comes the threat. And Registeel is the counter for it. Can Kirib have a move for Registeel? Does Kirib get a move for Registeel? I kind of want to like check, but I'm also like mid fight here. Does Kirib get any move? He gets Earth Power, so why didn't he bring Earth Power? So the bee finally takes out Aerodactyl, but Registeel is still making himself a prominent tank in this match. I'm like so curious to see what the rest of his set is. If he used Icicle Spear, maybe he like predicting a switch or something. And the fact that he switches him out tells me otherwise, that he doesn't have a super effective move for Registeel. And a non-grassy terrain Rillaboom just looks hilarious. But it's Dan, so he pulls it off. Is that not gonna... Holy crap. That was almost... If that didn't hit the 5 times, I was gonna live. It's like slow and steady with the Registeel. Only hits 2 times versus the 5 times. Wow. That was such a probably perfect roll for entertainment there. Alright, choice specs with the switcheroo does help Registeel can be completely useless. And now we have Zapdos coming in and finishing him off with Heat Wave. Blaziken. If that didn't... That discharge was probably like one of the saddest things. The discharge paralyze was probably like the worst luck on entertainment side there. Because Blaziken was so ready to just take out everyone on the rest of that line there. So I really do feel bad about that paralyze. But that is Pokemon for you. What are you going to do about it? So up next is our lovely Einsam versus Iceman. And Crobat comes in and starts taking absolute names. If you were Scarfed, why wouldn't you just do Thunderbolt? You really thought he was going to switch him out there? An Energy Ball was for who? I'm kind of still not over that. Who was the Energy Ball for? This Crobat's going to make absolute a mess out of this team because it's all Brave Bird week now after Xurkitree taking the L. I think I would have just Brave Bird right there, but I don't know. The Psychic from Landorus and finish. Come on. The critical hit finishes it off. Crobat taking absolute names. Just kind of felt like the little misprep on Einsam without having proper checks, it seems. because only bringing Xurkitree as a fly resist didn't seem like the best, maybe. Because even Landorus... No, Landorus doesn't have that much flying coverage, but I digress. And last but not least, we have our Twisted Games versus the SavageCabbage. I love that name, SavageCabbage. Mudsdale coming in and setting it up. Blastoise, Mega Blastoise just takes it out. It's a tank. I would not have expected the Draco to one-shot the... Not expected to one-shot that one. Darmanitan, 317. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Iron Fraud, absolutely a critical hit. How did that not kill Iron Bundle? Alright, how is this Hariyama? How is this Hariyama gonna take it? Damn, Earthquake. Well, it just had Earthquake, so it's probably gonna ring it again. Damn. This Hariyama's putting in an absolute work right now. Why would you use dynamic? I want to have so many comments about it, but I also don't want to have too much because I don't want to sit on that for too long. I've never seen Hariyama put in so much work before. This Hariyama probably goes to the gym and squats too much. That one kind of felt like right play, right time for SavageCabbage right there. And Twisted Games. Everything else seemed pretty functional. I mean, I would probably have a proper Earthquake answer if you're going to bring the two electric types at once to a game. I don't even hate that. I'm just really questioning the Toxicroak set right now, but maybe there was some idea behind it, maybe. But thank you all for tuning in. That wraps up week 1, and hopefully I bless you all for week 2, and hope and everyone gets the matches that they want. Good blessings to all of the matches next week. That's all I'm trying to say. Ant-Man 1793 here. I'm signing out. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time.